You may begin your presentation.
Before we begin, Enactus UNE would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land.
Within the Anawan, Thanggari, Kapangari and Banbai nations lies Armidale, the heart of the New England region.
A multicultural hub of educational excellence and innovation, the first mainland city in Australia to have access to the national broadband network.
The Armidale New England region is a hotspot of environmental and agricultural diversity.
With agriculture being a major aspect of the New England economy, the University of New England champions agricultural innovation.
Enactus UNE is uniquely positioned to take advantage of the region's cultural, technological and agricultural opportunities.
Enactus UNE, empowering regional Australia into a more prosperous future.
Enactus UNE is strengthening the economic, social and environmental integrity of our rural communities. There are 5 projects currently at various stages of the project timeline. Farming Futures, NERI, the Minimbar project, Helios and Finlit. Today we'll focus on 3 of these, Farming Futures, NERI and the Minimbar project. We will highlight the growth of our established projects and showcase our newest project, NERI, whilst demonstrating how our team is empowering our students, our local community, and regional Australia for a more prosperous tomorrow.
Imagine being a business owner and advertising a vacancy for over a year. This is the reality faced by many businesses in Australia, where demand for agriculture graduates exceeds supply 6 to 1. Despite this overwhelming demand, 30% of agriculture graduates are unable to find work.
This is a worrying prospect, as agribusiness was recently identified by Deloitte as one of the 5 industries that has the potential to take over from mining as a key driver of Australia's future economic growth.
In 2011, Enactus UNE identified a breakdown in communication pathways, discovering agriculture businesses and students studying agriculture-related degrees had limited means to access one another.
In response, Enactus UNE took action, founding a unique initiative to provide opportunities for students and agribusinesses to connect. To facilitate this, Enactus UNE partnered with the Rural Science Undergraduate Society and the UNE School of Environmental and Rural Science. Farming Futures has grown by more than 500% in 4 years and now includes a careers fair, industry dinner, and high school engagement day. 2014, Farming Futures' 4th consecutive year was the most successful yet. 300 dinner tickets were sold, 26 companies took part in our careers fair, and more than 200 high school students participated in our program. More than $50,000 in revenue, sponsorship, and in-kind support was generated last year.
Feedback over the past 4 years has been consistently positive. 95% of student attendees reported an increased awareness of career opportunities in agriculture, and 97% believe their networks have expanded.
As of 2015, Enactus UNE is proud to announce that the Farming Futures project is now fully self-sustainable. The project has an independent organising committee and has been incorporated into the UNE School of Environmental and Rural Science Marketing Plan.
These actions will ensure Farming Futures continues to empower agriculture students and businesses for a more sustainable future.
In today's business world, having an internet presence is no longer a competitive edge. It is a competitive necessity. Businesses that do not have an internet presence are practically invisible. For decades, rural and regional Australia have lagged behind in technology and online accessibility. However, in May 2011, Armidale was the first mainland city in Australia to have access to the national broadband network.
Enactus UNE identified that as of 2014, many local businesses have not capitalised on the opportunities that the NBN presents and were not fully participating on the online marketplace. Common reasons include a lack of skills, time and resources. In response, our team collaborated with the New England MBN coordinator, Mr. Alan Davies, to develop our newest project, the New England Regional Innovation Project. NERI aims to ensure local businesses improve and develop their online presence.
Enactus UNE has adopted a consultative model for NERI, creating a pool of university students eager to apply the skills and expertise acquired at university within the Armidale business community. In the last 6 months, NERI has met with 7 local businesses and gone on to support 3 of these businesses in building their online presence.
Women's retail store, Turner's Armidale, has increased its online presence by 4,000% since its first consultation with NERI. Our team established an online retail platform and developed a targeted social media strategy for Turner's Armidale. As a direct result, an employment opportunity arose for a student to manage Turner's online store. We'd like to introduce you to Kerry Turner, owner of Turner's Armidale.
When Enactus first approached us, I thought, what can a bunch of young uni students do for my business that I haven't been able to do for 45 years? I was wrong. They could do a lot. They gave us an online presence, a Facebook site that we are very proud of. I would recommend Enactus to any small business in Armidale or anywhere else in the country.
Looking to the future, our collaboration with the Armidale Business Chamber will help raise Project NERI's profile amongst the Armidale business community. NERI's focus will be to ensure that local businesses continue to thrive into the 21st century and extend their reach into new online markets.
NERI is empowering local businesses towards a more innovative future.
A birth certificate. It's the foundation of our legal and personal identity. This first document testifies to our identity, our belonging, our Australian citizenship. It allows us to enroll in school, open a bank account, get a driver's license. So surely, everyone has one, right? Wrong. Whilst undertaking our financial literacy program in 2011, we encountered a major roadblock. 95% of the students partaking in our program did not have a birth certificate and were therefore unable to open a bank account. In response, our project pivoted to rectify this significant issue, which we have discovered affects thousands of Australians. This has been a key focus of Enactus UNE since.
More than 35,000 babies born in Australia each year do not have their births registered within the first year of life. Without registration, children cannot obtain a birth certificate, preventing them from accessing the services and opportunities you and I take for granted.
There are a number of reasons for a child to not have been registered or for them not to obtain a birth certificate. 2 of the main reasons include the cost and the perceived complexity of filling out a number of forms to receive a birth certificate. In New South Wales, a birth certificate costs $51, which is simply unaffordable for many Australians. The Minimbar project aims to resolve these issues through a 2-pronged approach.
Our first objective is to facilitate access to birth certificates through birth certificate sign-up days held in remote, regional and metropolitan centres in areas which we have identified as having the greatest need. These sign-up days provide assistance with the written applications where necessary and the subsequent payment of the application on the applicant's behalf. Our second objective is to directly lobby the government to streamline the birth registration and certificate process to ensure that future generations of Australians do not slip between the cracks.
Our sign-up days are conducted with the support of our corporate and community partners, as well as local schools, sporting and service clubs. In the last 12 months, these relationships have strengthened, now including a formal arrangement with family referral service, Pathfinders. Pathfinders will continue to deliver our program through our extensive network of agencies across Eastern Australia.
Even when you get a job, you know, they produce your birth certificate and you don't have one. So you're sort of stuck there and you've just got to run around and see what ID you can get.
Our initial success was possible due to a $150,000 grant by the then Department of Education, Employment and Workplace Relations. This has since been extended twice in the last 12 months, with an additional $97,000 awarded to help satisfy the growing demand for our project. And just last week, we received a further $60,000 from a non-for-profit organisation to continue sign-up days in mid-North Coast part of New South Wales.
Our greatest success this year, however, has been the awarding of a further $990,000 from the Office of Prime Minister and Cabinet to continue our work across all Australian states and territories over the next 2.5 years. We are currently seeking additional corporate partners to strengthen our network so that we may deliver more birth certificates for vulnerable Australians.
In recent months, Pathfinders have held an additional 7 sign-up days on our behalf, providing 1,416 birth certificates to low socioeconomic youth and families. As a result of the subsequent funding we have received, further sign-up days are planned in the coming months. And Pathfinders is targeting a massive 20,000 birth certificates in Eastern Australia in the next 2 years.
Minimbar's reach continues to grow, and in 2015 was featured in the book Proof of Birth, published by Future Leaders, highlighting the unique collaborative model which Enactus UNE has developed to tackle a national issue.
Receiving funding of over $1 million has meant the Minimbar project is now able to employ a team to help deliver its outcomes. Our Business Advisory Board member, Mr. Will Winter, will continue to guide the day-to-day progress of the project to continue lobbying to streamline the birth registration and certificate process. Proposed solutions include a consent-based model in which expectant mothers will provide all necessary details to have their child registered and have a birth certificate issued when they leave hospital. Strengthening links between state healthcare systems and the Commonwealth Government through administrations such as Centrelink will help ensure that birth certificates will be issued without excessive paperwork and cost as an automatic right of citizenship.
Over the next 2 years, the Minimbar's reach will continue to grow across all of Australia. This growth is possible due to the continued support and interest of agencies such as UNICEF Australia, state registries of birth status and marriages, and the support of Aboriginal leader, advisor to the Prime Minister, Mr. Warren Mundine. We've also secured the support of federal and state politicians.
The Minimbar project is working patiently but surely towards ensuring future generations of Australians will obtain their legal identity without excessive cost and bureaucracy. We are moving towards establishing a board of governance, which will continue to support and run the project through Pathfinders over the coming years. This will include high-profile Australians, business leaders, UNE staff, and Enactus UNE members. Other steps towards sustainability include crowdsourcing of funds, improved branding, and the development of corporate sponsorships and support materials, which will enable communities in remote regions to conduct sign-up days without the direct involvement of Enactus UNE.
With the aim of providing up to 10,000 free birth certificates over the next 12 months, the Minimbar project is empowering remote, regional and metropolitan Australia towards a more equitable future.
Ongoing team sustainability is a core focus of Enactus UNE. Since July last year, we are focused on recruitment, project enhancement, and new project development. Farming Futures has become sustainable. Our newest project, NERI, has been well received by the Armidale business community, and the Minimbar project has achieved outstanding growth.
In the last 12 months, Enactus UNE has reached 650,000 media impressions and developed 10 new partnerships and collaborations. Our 20 Enactus members have invested over 3,000 hours into our team activities.
Farming Futures has helped raise awareness of career opportunities in agriculture for more than 600 students, giving 48 companies the ability to access new graduates. Farming Futures also achieves sustainability.
NCC is leading a technological campaign to help our community move visibly into the 21st century with a stronger internet presence.
The Minimbar project has equipped 1,416 Australians with an identity and has secured over $1 million in additional funding to ensure ongoing expansion and sustainability for this nation-defining work.
Sustainable.
Innovative.
Equitable.
Enactus UNE, empowering regional Australia for a more prosperous tomorrow. Before we begin question time, I'd like to invite our President and Treasurer to assist us.
We will now begin the question and answer period.
Thank you, fantastic presentation.
Thank you.
The Minimbar project must be incredibly satisfying to be involved with, and I can see you're thinking about how it can be made sustainable, and I can imagine it would be a very hard one to step away from. Have you thought about what needs to be in place for you to actually finally let it go?
So we'll continue to be involved in the day-to-day running of the Minimbar project through the formation of a board of governors. In this, we'll oversee the strategic direction of the project. Ultimately, we do recognise the project, as it stands in its current state, isn't financially sustainable. However, the ultimate sustainability of this program will be through political reform at a federal level, so that all Australians are able to receive a birth certificate when they are born as an automatic right of their Australian citizenship.
Hi, good presentation. Couple of questions on the NCC project. Can you talk about the amount of time that's actually spent in that initial consultation with the small business, and also what work has been done to ensure that that online presence is sustainable once that consultation ends?
So most of the consultations that we've conducted, the time that we first spent and now analysing the business was between half an hour to an hour, just going through all the details with the business. After then, we probably spend 2 to 5 hours as a team, depending on what needs to be done with the business, developing the strategic plan based off what we've researched. From then, a few more hours, depending on the need, are spent. For example, with Turners, it started with a half an hour consultation, followed by about 2 hours of working on their needs analysis. And then after 2 hours of working with them, an employment opportunity became apparent. So myself, now being employed by Turners, I spend 4 hours a week working for them.
To build on that, not only is that what we do initially with the time, but to make sure that this is sustainable, not only do we implement the changes if that is what the business wants, but we also teach those skills to the businesses so they then themselves can make additional changes and understand the process a little bit better.
Additionally to that, we're also looking to partner with the UNE School of Business to
form a unit.
To form a unit within the school, so we have a continued stream of students that can take on this project as obviously we graduate and move on.
Hi, Mel Ramsey. Great presentation. With Farming Futures, you've been doing it for 4 years, it says. Do you have any data on how many people may have been employed or through your activities?
Hi. So it's really difficult to quantify that because ultimately the person who gets the job will be the best applicant for that job. However, our sponsors keep going back year after year, and they wouldn't come back if they didn't believe that this was beneficial to them as a way of sourcing talent that they need for their organisations. So a platinum sponsor, which is GRDC, is returning again this year in 2015, and platinum sponsorship is $5,000 for the year, and naming rights is $15,000. So
furthermore, on what Catherine's saying, We have, from personal stories from Enactus UNE members, found that our previous president, Rachel Price, secured employment with Coles, and this was purely from the networking that we enabled her to give. The overall aim of the project is to break those, form those bridges so that students can network with these businesses.
Looks like no further questions. Okay, judges, would you please join with me in thanking University of New England? I believe